Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome back to Mindful Wanderers Journeys Within. I am so thrilled to be back here again. It is the beginning of November, and I just absolutely love this time of year, and especially this month because not just about Thanksgiving and the typical food, family, friends, football, and everything, but just about how this is such a time about blessings and gratitude, reasons to feel thankful. And I want to talk tonight about from gratitude to latitude. And we hear so much about gratitude and about being thankful and blessings and just finding so much to be grateful for. And I want to bring in about the topic of abundance along with gratitude. Now, typically at this time of the year, and especially when we gather around with friends and loved ones around the Thanksgiving table, we often give gratitude and thanks for the many blessings in our lives. Now, this is something that we truthfully should be doing every day of our lives. And I, for one, will say that there have been times where the gratitude list has not always been at the forefront of my mind, and especially with the past few months where I had been dealing with a lot of challenges, a lot of turmoil, and feeling grateful was not really at the top of the list for a bit. And then somebody who is very dear to my heart, somebody who is a very dear friend and also a very, very respected business mentor for me, she talked about focusing on what's right in your life. That no matter what we are going through, that there is always something around to be grateful for, that there are always things going on around us that are right. And sometimes it takes a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra strength to find those right things when there are things going wrong in our lives. And I thought about it, and one day, especially at this time of the year, I was walking around my home, my new home, and I was just thinking about, like, okay, I'm grateful for my new place. I am grateful that I'm in a community that cares. I'm grateful that I'm in a peaceful community. I'm grateful for the people that check on me and check on my mom. And I'm grateful for the fact that we're living in an area that is very woodsy and a lot of nature around me. I'm grateful that I have the freedom to work from home. I'm grateful that I have different businesses that I do. I'm grateful for this podcast. And I mean, on and on and on. And I'm like, wow, I was really getting into this. And there's an energy when you're saying gratitude. Now, I just want you to try something here. So if you were to get up in the morning and say, oh my God, this is going to be a crappy day today. Just say that to yourself and think of how your body is taking that in. Like, oh man, it's going to be crappy today. The traffic's going to be bad and blah, blah, blah. And your body is like tensing up. It's like not responding very well. But try this. If you say to yourself, today is going to be a great day. I can't wait to see what happens today. I can't wait to see what surprises are waiting for me. I can't wait to see what goes right today. You feel that energy shift. You feel light. You feel like, and you feel excited. You're feeling excited about the day. if you focus on what could go wrong, that is what is going to be attracted in your life. And I have had a lot of experience with that. And I've had a lot of experience where I'm expecting the good and then the good gets multiplied. So when I'm talking about gratitude leading us to latitude, being thankful, being grateful, finding things that are going well in our lives, it shifts that energy. It shifts that energy in our lives, and it shifts that energy in our day-to-day routines and our day-to-day tasks, and it just does something. It does elevate. You feel elevated when you get up in the morning and you think about the wonderful things that are going on in your life, even if there are some things that aren't so wonderful. And what I share about on these podcast sessions, I don't talk about things that I haven't experienced myself. I am very ethical that way. I honor myself and I honor others by what I share. I have experienced myself. I do that with my tourism business. I do that in my digital marketing biz. I only will talk about things that I have experienced myself and what has worked for me and the results of that. And I'm always like, take what you like and leave the rest. Because I'm not here in this podcast or any of my inspirational videos that I do to force anybody. I simply share. I am a guide. I mean, that's what I call myself, an empowerment guide. I share about what has worked for me, what has helped me navigate some of the most unbelievable challenges and obstacles that one person could face. And I'm talking about over a lifetime. I'm 53, and I've had to navigate a lot throughout my life. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of what works, and I have followed a lot. I've studied a lot. I continue to. I listen to videos. I read books. I am out there experiencing activities and everything. So what I bring to this podcast, I share it so people will know that there are other ways and other perspectives that can guide you, that can help, that can support. And one of them is, gratitude. When you think about things, and it can be just like that first cup of coffee or tea or whatever beverage of choice you have in the morning. Like for me, it's usually coffee. And I think about like how blessed I am that I'm having this delicious cup of coffee. Like earlier today, I bought some new coffee pods yesterday, and I had a cinnamon vanilla coffee. It made my apartment smell so good. When I took that, I could smell the aroma. When I brought it up to my mouth, I'm like, oh, this tastes so good. And on a cool day like it was today, I'm just like, I'm so grateful that I'm able to have this cup of delicious coffee on a very cool day. It relaxes me. It makes me feel good. And that's something to be grateful for. It's something to be thankful. Yes, it's simplistic, but there's abundance in simplicity. And that's something that I am always saying. You can find abundance in simplicity. Now, getting back to abundance. I have shared many times that if you look at nature, nature is abundant. You take a little acorn, you take a grain of sand, you take a leaf, you take a seed, and it turns into something big. It turns into something big. A little acorn turns into a big giant tree. A grain of sand can become a beach. A little drop of water becomes a lake, a pond, an ocean. So, and if you look at nature, nature is big. Nature is bountiful. And I look at it, that is what it should be for us. That we have bountiful, abundant lives. And that is going to be different for everyone. But I remember a person that I worked for years ago when I was working online for someone. And she always used to say that abundance is our birthright. I totally believe that. And I have studied scriptures about it. I'm very faithful. And for me, I see it. I just look at nature. I was looking at these beautiful trees outside of my complex, and they're huge. They're full of life. And yes, the leaves are going to fall. But then in the spring, they come back to life again with new greenage and beautiful leaves again. So, and if you go to the beach or if you go to the ocean, look at the stars in the sky. You couldn't even count them. There's just billions and billions and billions of stars. So again, just looking around at creation, looking around at the universe, and we're meant to have bountiful, abundant lives. And gratitude, it can be that first step to get us to that, because the more that we find in our lives to be grateful for, the more abundance that we look for, then we're going to be attracting even more things to be grateful for. I mean, I've been practicing this now for quite a while, and I'll tell you, and I've been doing it even more so ever since my friend's advice about it. And I'll tell you, I'm seeing it. I am finding more and more things to be grateful for. And like today, one of my neighbors is moving, and he had these porch chairs with his front porch. Now, I have a walkway because we're on an end unit, and I really wanted to have 2 chairs put there that I could sit in and read and everything. I mean, I have chairs on my front porch, but they're mainly for decorative purposes. I wanted some chairs that I could sit on in my little walkway there and everything. So my friend had said, my neighbor said he was going to be moving, and I saw these 2 chairs. Now, I went away for a couple days, and when I came back today, I was starting to get into that stinking thinking like, oh, he probably has those chairs earmarked, or they're probably not even there. And then I just felt God whisper to me, did you ever stop to think that those were meant for you? Just go and ask. And that's exactly what I did. Those chairs were still there on his porch, and I met up with him this afternoon, and I asked him about the chairs. I said, do you have them earmarked for anybody? He says, nope. He said, they're yours. And I was just like, oh my God. See, it was just like, I just knew that those chairs were meant for me, and I chose to believe that. And initially I could have just been like, no, they're not even going to be there. But I just felt God say to me, those chairs are meant for you. And I carried them over. They're in front of my bedroom window in the walkway, and I tried them out, and they're comfy. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that for those chairs. I'm thankful that I have these 2 wonderful chairs. He was grateful that he found somebody that's going to appreciate them. And it just is that beautiful cycle of like walking around and everything, and just giving and receiving and giving and receiving. I mean, you can't have one without the other. It's not, in order to be balanced. Yes, it's wonderful to give, but it's just as wonderful to receive. And that is a balance. It's not meant to just be over giving. And it's also not meant to be over receiving. I mean, it's a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful like way of just going around and around of, we give and receive, we give and receive. And that is what produces the abundance in our lives. And I believe that the more that we do look for that abundance, and we're appreciating it, and we're giving our time and energy to appreciating, then we are going to have more to receive and more to be thankful for, and the blessings in our lives. So this Thanksgiving, as everything approaches, I mean, even before Thanksgiving approaches, every day look for at least 5 things. It could be more than that, but just at least look for like 5 things to be grateful for. and challenge yourself to look for things that are different than what you would normally be thankful for. Like a lot of people say, I'm thankful for my family, I'm thankful for friends, and that's wonderful. But again, like think about things outside the box, like those chairs or the coffee mug or just something that maybe you wouldn't even think about until you're like, oh yeah, I can see that. I mean, just being able to take a shower, being able to go out in your car and drive or ride a bike or something. I mean, just things that we don't normally think about because we do them every day. I mean, some people, it's hard to take a shower. Some people aren't able to drive. I mean, things that we take for granted, we should be grateful for them because we have that privilege of being able to do a lot of things that some people may not be able to. So when you're thinking about gratitude, it leads to latitude. When we give, we receive. And the more abundance that we give thanks for, the more abundance is going to come in for even bigger things to be grateful for. So I just look forward to continuing to be with all of you. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for this podcast. I also want to mention too that I did mention about my businesses. I have 2 websites. I have one that's highrisetourism.com, and that's where I'm working on building my tourism biz with a blog. And also I'm going to be doing vlogging as well, doing tourism, video blogging. And then also I'm going to be doing different packages, and I want to help businesses in tourism. And also to my digital marketing biz, and that's digital innovator SuzanneSells.com. And if you want more information about any of those, you can reach out to me in the comments. But I'm just a very multi-passionate person who just loves to be out there and experiencing everything I can. I love the abundance of being able to be online and being able to help people and share and help everybody enjoy life to the fullest. So, all right, so I will see you later on in the month, and have a wonderful night. And thank you so much for being here. I am grateful for all of you. Have a wonderful night.